Good day, students. In this clip, we're going to be going over area and volumes of prisms. Okay, so what we're going to do first is take a look at the formulas that will be guiding our problem solving process, and then we're going to apply them to 4 examples. All right, so for the first one, we're going to start with a square prism. So the first figure we have here, this is a square prism. The base is a square, so all 4 sides are congruent, and all 4 angles are congruent also. So we have a square prism here. So what is the volume and surface area of a square prism that is closed? So we're going to make a grid here to help us out with that. So we're starting with a square prism. This is a solid under consideration. And then we're going to look at the formula for the volume and the surface area. So we're going to look at the formula for the volume first. So what's the formula for the volume of a square prism? So the volume, if we think about the volume, we're thinking about the content, how much can this hold, okay? So for volume, we're going to be using the formula volume is equal to area of the base times the perpendicular height, the height of the prism. So for a square, the area of the base is going to be, let's say the sides is S by S, and then the height is H. So the volume is going to be the area of the base, which is side times side, which is side square, multiplied by the height of the prism. All right. Okay, surface area. For the surface area, we're looking at a closed prism, okay, because sometimes you have an opened prism scenario. So in this particular case, we have a closed prism. So we just basically use the faces, the sum of the area of all the faces, to determine what the surface area is. Okay, so in this particular case, the surface area is going to be the sum of the area of the top and bottom, which is 2s squared. The top is s squared, the bottom is s squared. And then, since the base is a square, the areas of the lateral sides, the front, back, left, and right, will all be the same. So we just find one of the faces. Let's say the front face is the side times the perpendicular height, and then multiply that by 4 to account for front, back, left, and right. Okay? Alright, so there goes the surface area of a square prism, which is figure number 1. So let's take a look at figure number 2, which is a rectangular prism. So for this one, let's make sure it's a rectangle, equiangular parallelogram. This side is congruent to that side, and this side is congruent to that side. Okay, so for number 2, we have a rectangular prism, so it's length times width, and then the height of the rectangular prism is big H. Okay, so for rectangular prism, the volume is going to be big B, the area of the base, times height. The area of the base is length times width, and multiplied by the height of the prism. Okay, surface area. So for surface area, you notice that for rectangular prism, just opposite faces are identical. Not all faces are identical. Okay, so the top and the bottom are identical, so the area of that will be 2 length times width for the top and bottom. The front and back are identical, so for the front it's going to be length by height, right? So front and back is going to be 2 length times height, and then left and right is going to be 2 width times height. Okay, so there goes the surface area for the rectangular prism. All right, moving right along, let's take a look at the third solid we have here, which is your circular prism. Circular prism. So let's say that the radius of our circular prism is r and the height is h. Okay, so for number 3, our circular prism, the volume is going to be big B times h, area of the base, which is a circle, pi r squared, times the height h. Alrighty? And then surface area, the top and the bottom is just 2 circles, so 2 pi r squared. It's a closed cylinder, okay? Plus the lateral area. The width of the lateral area is equivalent to the circumference of the base. If you cut it out and unroll this circular prism, the width of that resulting midsection will be the circumference of the circle. Okay, so that will be 2 pi r times, so that's the width, times the height, h. Alright, so that goes the surface area of a circular prism. Lastly, we're going to be looking at a triangular prism scenario. So in this particular case, the base is B, and the height of the triangular base is h. Okay, so this is a right angle right here. And then the height of the entire prism is big H. Okay? Alright, so for a triangular prism, let's take a look at what the formulas are. Number 4, for a triangular prism, the volume is the area of the base. So the base is a triangle, right? So the area of the base, the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times the perpendicular height of the triangle. Alright, and the surface area, let's say, I forgot to label some parts. Let's say that the size of the triangle is B, and then that's A, and that's C right there. So this is C, and that's A, and that's B. Okay, and then the perpendicular height, of course, is H. So to find the surface area, we just need to find the area of all the faces. 1, 2, top and down, 1, 2, front, 3, and then the sides 4, 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so top and bottom is easy. It's just 2 triangles. So that is going to be 2 times 1/2 base times height. That's for the top and bottom. And then from the front is going to be little b times big H. Alright. So it's big H all around, even though the widths are different. So the front is going to be little b times big H. The right side will be little a times big H, and then the left side will be little c times big H. Just like that. Just go around. You have 3 lateral sides here. So the front and then the side will be little c times big H, and then the left side will be, I'm sorry, the right side is little a, and then the other one will be little c times big H. Alright, so that goes the set of formulas we're going to be using for the examples today. Alright, so our task is to find the volume and surface areas of the given figures. So the first one we have, let's say we have number 1, a square prism with base width of 5 centimeters and height of 10 centimeters. Okay? Alright, so let's take a look at this one. So there goes our square prism right there. let's put in the values for the dimensions. So since it's a square prism, we know that it's going to be 5 by 5. Okay, and then the height is 10. So that's what S is going to be. S is going to be 5 centimeters. Alright, and then our big H is going to be 10. Alright, so let's find the volume. So volume V is big B times height, area of the base times height, which is S squared times H. So we know that S is 5 and big H is 10. So we just plug it in. Volume is going to be 5 square times 10. Alright, use order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You square this first. You have 25 times 10. And your answer is going to be 250. Since you multiply 3, length is going to be centimeters cubed. Alright, surface area. Surface area is going to be area of the top and bottom, which is 2s squared, plus the lateral areas, which is 4s times h. Okay, so we substitute. S is 5, so like that, plus 4 times s, which is 5 again, times height, which is 10. Simplify this. 5 times 5 is 25 times 2, 50, plus 4 times 5 is 20, times 10 is 200. And then you add it all up, you get 250. We just finding a product of sides, so the unit is going to be centimeters square. Alrighty, let's take a look at another example, number 2. So for number 2, let's say we have a circular prism. A circular prism with base diameter of 12 feet and height of 20 feet. Okay. Okay, so that goes a sketch of our circular prism. In this particular case, the diameter, the base diameter is 12. So if we go across, that's going to be 12. Okay. And then the height, so that's the center right there. So that's the diameter. And then of course this is the radius from the center to the circle. Alright, and then the height is 12 feet. So that's the height. Okay, so let's go ahead and find the volume first. The volume is area of the bases times height. So it's going to be the volume is area of the base times height. The area of the base is pi r squared, and then multiply that by the height. In this particular case, the diameter is 12 feet. So that means that the radius is half of that, which is 6 feet. Just divide it by 2, and your height is 12 feet. So your volume is going to be pi times the radius square times height. Okay? And then multiply everything together. And then your answer is going to be 432. We multiplied 3 lengths, so it's going to be feet cubed. Oh wait, there's a pi there, sorry. So 432 times pi. We want to keep it in the exact form. Okay, if we wanted to do an approximate form, we can round pi to a few decimal places, and that will give us an approximate answer. So by keeping the irrational number pi in its pi format, we can have the exact result. Alright, so there goes the volume of our circular prism. Now let's take a look at the surface area of our circular prism. So for that one, the formula for surface area is going to be area of the top and bottom, which is 2 pi r squared, plus the lateral area, which is 2 pi r, the width, times the height, if it's unraveled. Okay, so we're going to have 2 pi times the radius square plus 2 pi times the radius times the height. Okay, simplify that. We have 36 times 2, which is 72 pi, plus, and then this is 12 times 12, 144 pi. And then we add this 2 together. And then your final answer is going to be 216. We just multiplied 2 lengths, so it's 216 pi feet square. All right, square is the dimension of area, and cube is the dimension of volume. All right, so let's take a look at one more example. So for number 3, let's say we have a triangular prism with side lengths 3, 5, and 7, and the perpendicular height of triangle 4. Okay, let's say they are all meters. So meters, 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 meters. And the prism height. So we have, for a triangle, we have a perpendicular height of the triangle itself, and then we have the height of the prism, okay? And the prism height of 10 meters. Okay, so let's take a look at what a triangular prism looks like. So there goes our triangular prism here. Let's go ahead and put in the measures of the different sides of our triangular prism, and then we can go ahead and compute the volume and surface area. Okay, so let's assume that the base of the triangle for this particular problem is 7. Okay, so let's say this is 7 right here, so we have to specify what that is. That's B. And then the other two legs are, A is 3, and then this other side here, C is 7. No, I got it back. That is 5. So we have 3, 5, and 7. So let's say C over here is 5. This is not a right triangle, by the way, okay? So we're just calling the sides ABC. It doesn't really matter. And then the perpendicular height H is 10. All right, so let's start by looking for the volume. So the volume of our triangular prism is going to be the area of the base, 1/2 base times height. That's the area of the base, and then that will be multiplied by the perpendicular height, the height of the prism itself. Okay, in this particular case, the base B of the triangle is 7. The height of the triangle itself is, we didn't say what it was, 4. So H is 4 in this particular problem. So H is 4. Okay, so this is 4. And then the height of the prism itself is 10. Okay, so the volume is going to be 1/2 times the base, which is 7 times 4 times 10. Okay, so this is going to be 280 over 2, which is 140, and since its volume is going to be meters cubed. So there goes the volume of our triangular prism. Let's find the surface area. So the surface area is going to be the area of the top and bottom, which is double 1/2 base times height. Okay, and then the area of the front, which is b times h, area of the right side, a times h, and area of the left side, that's not, plus area of the left side, which is c times h. Okay, so let's make all the substitutions and figure this out. So surface area is going to be, so this, you're doubling half, so these two can cancel out, right? So those two are gone. So 7 times base times height, perpendicular height of the triangle, 7 times 4, plus 7 times 10, plus 3 times 10, and then the last one plus 5 times 10. Okay, so let's go ahead and work this out. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 70, plus 30, plus 50. Okay, so if we add all this up, 70 plus 30 is 100, right? So, and you add the other two, 78. So you have 178 meters square as the surface area of our triangular prism. Okay, so that's that.